halted wind power development in federal waters offshore and paused permitting and leasing for turbines on land. The order cited concerns about the impact of turbines on ocean currents and wind patterns. This lawsuit, filed by 17 Democratic state attorneys general and the Attorney General for Washington, D.C., claims the national pause on new wind projects is unlawful and represents what New York AG Letitia James described as a blockade against low-carbon power. This administration is devastating one of our nation's fastest-growing sources of clean, reliable, and affordable energy, James said. This lawsuit comes as Trump's executive orders face a growing wave of legal challenges. Brian Mann, NPR News, New York.
The interest rate-setting Federal Reserve meets in Washington this week with the betting by most economists when it wraps up its two-day meeting on Wednesday. Central bank will opt to leave short-term rates unchanged, as despite some harsh criticisms from President Trump. The Fed has repeatedly said it will base any decisions on rates on current and anticipated economic conditions as well as inflationary pressures. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 98 points. This is NPR.
At 7:04 in Philadelphia with WHYY News, I'm Matt Gillum. Cardinals from around the globe are in Vatican City and will begin the conclave to select the next pope on Wednesday. For the first time in nearly half a century, Philadelphia won't have a representative inside the Sistine Chapel. Philly's Cardinal Justin Francis Regali is 90 years old. Only cardinals under 80 can vote for the next pontiff. That means that out of more than 250 cardinals, around 130 princes of the church will be able to cast a ballot in the conclave. The man accused of sparking the Jones Road fire in southern Ocean County will be released. The WHYY New Jersey desk, Kenneth Burns, has this report.
19-year-old Joseph Kling will be placed on home detention and must wear an ankle monitor. Kling was arrested on arson charges in the Jones Road wildfire shortly after thousands of acres burned nearly 2 weeks ago. Last week, the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office added the charge of hindering apprehension in connection to the blaze. His next court date is May 19th. A 17-year-old was also charged in connection with the incident. Both are accused of starting a bonfire and leaving it unattended. They are further accused of giving investigators misleading information. Officials announced Monday that the fire is now 90% contained. At more than 15,000 acres burned, it is one of the biggest wildfires in recent memory. From the New Jersey desk, Kenneth Burns, WHYY News.
Gray sky is going to be sticking around for the next couple of days. Overnight, could see some showers in the pre-dawn hours. Tomorrow, lower temperatures for today. Chance of showers as well throughout Tuesday. Expect highs in the upper 70s. WHYY.
Comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the Luminescence Foundation, dedicated to shedding light on neurological research focused on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases, and supporting land conservation initiatives, and the listeners who support this NPR station.
This is Fresh Air. Thanks, Mary Close. Our guest today is Sarah Smith. She's best known for playing Shiv Roy in the show Succession. Now she's on Broadway on a one-person show, an adaptation of the Oscar Wilde story, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Last week, she received a Tony nomination for Best Leading Actress in a Play. She spoke with Fresh Air's Anne-Marie Baldonado. It's hard to describe Sarah Smith's performance in The Picture of Dorian Gray. Smith plays all 26 characters in this stage adaptation of Oscar Wilde's novel from 1890. It feels like we're watching a 2-hour sprint. She's giving a non-stop monologue, a crazy athletic solo performance. For those who don't remember this gothic horror story, young man, Dorian Gray, who falls in love with his own beauty when an artist friend paints a portrait of him. He loves his own image so much that he makes a wish, a Faustian bargain, that allows him to stay young and beautiful while his portrait ages and decays. The show uses pre-recorded snippets of Snook, playing different characters, projected on huge video screens. There are cameras, iPhones, and lightning-quick costume and set changes, all used to tell this story that culminates in Dorian spiraling and ultimately facing his sins and his mortality. When Sarah Snook did this play for in London last year, it earned her an Olivier Award, which is the British equivalent of a Tony. This isn't the only award that she's received. She won an Emmy and 2 Golden Globes for playing fan favorite Shiv Roy, the daughter of Logan Roy on the show Succession.
Sarah Snook was born in Australia, where she went to drama school and received many accolades for her work on stage and screen. Her films include Jobs, The Dressmaker, and Memoir of a Snail. Sarah Snook, welcome to Fresh Air.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, the creator of this adaptation, Kip Williams, a fellow Australian, when he approached you about taking on this role or these roles, what was your response? I read that you said that if you had seen the show, you might not have agreed to do it.
Yes. Well, I was pregnant at the time, and I think I was like 7 months or something, and you know, my first baby, and so that kind of ignorance is bliss kind of world of what is to come, and the efforts of parenting at the same time as doing this particular show was, if I had seen the show, I think my husband particularly, if he'd seen the show, he would have said, this is not a good idea.
This is not something you do if you have a newborn?
This is not possible. I mean, it's not impossible, obviously, but it takes a lot of concentration and support, not just from myself, from the family and from my team.
As we've mentioned, you play all characters in the show, and you're also the narrator of the story. How do you differentiate between the characters? Do you develop the characters in the same way you would if you were just playing one part in a play? If you were slumming it and only playing one part?
How am I going to go back to just playing one character? I don't know what comes after this, what tops this sort of overstimulation of characters. To differentiate between the characters, I think lots of different things. In some ways, a blessing and a curse. We had only 2 weeks of rehearsals before doing the pre-recorded portion of the show at the end of 2023, and so it really meant that I had to make sharp and considered decisions quite early, and part of that was created out of doing a lot of voice work with